Science Part 2, Chapter number 18, Observing Space Telescopes. Okay. Now here, in this chapter, you will be learning which are the different forms of light, what are telescopes and types of telescopes, telescopes in space, and then Indian Space Research Organization, that is ISRO. Okay. So let us begin that lesson. Now, students, from early days, we human beings are curious about the sun, about moon, about stars. Yes or no? So at night also we can see we are curious from where this moon stars are coming, right? So because of this imagination, what human beings did? Human beings started learning about the sky. They observed the sky with the naked eyes, and they notice that the positions of stars change with time. Okay, it is not steady in one particular place. So it is changing with time, and there is something to do with the occurrence of seasons also. So as the knowledge of the cycle of seasons was necessary. Why it is necessary, why we should know about when is our rainy season or summer season or winter season, because our country India is agro based. Yes, so we depends totally on the agriculture. Main occupation of India is agriculture, agricultural country. So that's why we should know about the seasons. So sky watching began. Okay, it began and it was found useful to human beings. So the position of the constellation was also useful for whom, for the because there are many fishermen who goes to sea daily, okay, to catch the fish, for navigation, for extracting oil. So for them, this is very useful, sky watching. Okay, so man began to put efforts to find answers to questions. Okay, so he started watching the sky, and many questions came in his mind. So he discovered an equipment to get a closer view of the stars and planets. Because if you want to study anything, there should be a closer view, na? So the research of telescope was made by a scientist named Galileo. Okay, so here you can see in the year 1608, Hans Lippershey. Okay, he discovered that seeing through the lens. Okay, what will happen? You can bring the objects very closer to you. Now planets, stars, sun, moon, all these are very far away from us. So if you want to study them, it should come near to you, should be nearer to your eyes. So that this man, that is Hans Lippershey, okay, he made the first telescope, and then Galileo made telescope in the year 1609. So in 1608, who made? Hans, and in 1609, Galileo. Okay, and they used it for what? Space study, space observation, and they realized that there are many stars in the sky. Okay, that we could be seen with the naked eyes. So using telescope, he also discovered the moon, Jupiter. There are black spots on the sun, on the moon. Okay, there is water in the moon. So all these things he was able to identify. Because of Galileo, we are able to observe the sky, right? So using the invention, what he invented? Telescope, right? So today, after 400 years, we remember him, Galileo. We use the Galileo telescope. Because of his telescope, there is vast progress in the field of space science. Yes, so space science and technology. So you can study more and more about space because of this telescope. So this great leap in technology has helped to construct what? This astounding picture of our universe. We came to know how you can draw now each and every part of the universe. Yes. So because you can see through the telescope, space science and technology are important for research. If you want to do research on any of the planet, like Mars or moon. So for that we need the telescope. It helps us with many of the comforts, many facilities we enjoy in our everyday life, right? So a telescope is used to observe space, but will one telescope be sufficient? What do you think? One telescope, is it okay? No. So we need many telescopes. So why do we need different telescopes? Because we want to study many things, right? So why do we need this different telescope? For different purpose. So are the telescopes installed even in space? So all these things we are going to learn in this chapter. Okay. Or is it outside the space? So that is a main need of sky observation and equipments. So what we can say, post Galileo in the last 400 years, man has made what? Many progress in telescope technology, okay, in space science. So that's why he was able to make the what you can say picture of universe. So we should use this telescope to study the space science, right? So there are different uses, right? Now let us see what are the different forms of light. Now you can see in the scientist named Galileo and his invention, that is telescope. Okay, so that is given here. So moving to the next topic, that is different forms of light. Which are the different forms of light? Now you know students, light is electromagnetic wave, right? So every wave has some wavelength, characteristic wavelength. So our eyes, we can see only that light which has wavelength between what, 400 to 800 nanometer. Okay, so we cannot see more than 800 or less than 400. So such light, what we can say, we can call them as visible radiation. Okay, visible radiation. So light which our eyes can see, that is called as visible radiation, and it is very tiny part of electromagnetic spectrum. Okay, so however there are electromagnetic waves of wavelength other than the visible ones. There are not only visible ones, there are some other rays also. Okay, so these rays other than visible ones, most of which we cannot see as our eyes are not sensitive to them. We cannot see some of the rays because that our eyes is not showing the color, okay, that color. So visible light or radiation, what I told you, it should be between 400 to 800. But can we see below 400? But rays are coming, but we cannot see, we cannot identify. Neither we can identify above 800, right? So there is a table given over there. You can see at page number 210, radio waves. Okay, radio waves, can we see? No, because it is longer, about 220 centimeter. Microwaves, we cannot see. It is 0.3 mm to 20 centimeter. Then infrared waves, it is between 800 to 0.3 millimeter. That also we cannot see. So we cannot see infrared waves, microwaves, radio waves. What we can see? Only the visible light rays, which is between 400 to 800. Can we see UV rays, ultraviolet rays? No. Why? Because it is less than 400. Yes, we cannot see. X-rays also we cannot see. X-rays are also less than 400. Gamma rays is very short. Okay. So in this way, of all these types, different types I told you, that is radio waves, microwaves, infrared waves, UV rays, X-rays, gamma rays. Our eyes are only capable of seeing the visible radiation. Thus, we use what? Visible radiation telescope, also called as what? Optical telescope. Okay, they are made from regular lenses or mirrors to see the visible radiation coming from the space. Okay, so you know heavenly bodies are there like sun, moon, stars, planets. Yes, they also emit radiations. But these radiations we cannot see because they are other than the visible radiation. So we need what? Different types of telescope. I asked you know one question, why we need different types of telescopes? We need telescopes like the X-ray, gamma ray, and radio telescope to receive such radiation and to study their sources. So, if you want to know about the light from different electromagnetic wavelength, we cannot see with our eyes. So, we have to use different types of telescopes. Okay. Now here I have shown you a refracting telescope. Okay. So in your textbook page number 210, okay, you can look at that diagram also. So eyepiece is shown over there, source of light is also shown, objective lens. Okay. So here most optical telescopes, how they are made up of? There are two or more lenses. You can see in the diagram, two or more lenses are used. Yes. So here you can see two lenses being used. Okay, so this is one lens, this is the second lens. Similarly, here also you can see two lenses being used. Okay, so to collect the maximum amount of light, okay, if you want to collect maximum amount of light from the source, so here the source can be any light. Okay, if you want to collect maximum light coming from heavenly body object, the objective lens should be made how much? It should be large. This is objective lens. Okay, objective lens, how it should be made? It should be very large. So both these objective lens should be very large. Then only you will get maximum light. Okay. So using that light collected by the objective, a smaller lens called the eyepiece, it will produce a large image of the source. So this is the eyepiece. Okay. Now what eyepiece is doing? Eyepiece will give us small image, okay, of the larger object near our eyes. Okay, that is called the eyepiece. So light rays change the direction as they enter the lens from the atmosphere and again when they enter the atmosphere after passing through the lens. So you have studied this definition of refraction. What happens in refraction? When the light rays changes the medium from, if the light is going from air to water or glass slab, one experiment we did in the refraction of light, that chapter. Yes. So what happens? It bends, it changes its direction. So that is called refraction. Similar process occurs here. Okay. So light rays, what they will do when they will come from the heavenly body, they will change their direction because they are entering now which medium? Lens. Lens means it is made up of glass. From the atmosphere, that is rarer medium to denser medium. And when they enter the atmosphere after passing through the lens, again the ray will bend. So that's why you can see here the bending of rays. Yes. So bending of rays occurs and you can find that what you can see, the larger image of the heavenly body. So we shall now study how the image formation takes place by lenses in higher class, like in 10th standard and all, you will study the different images formed. So now here you have to study about the how this refracting telescope is used, for what it is used. So even though telescope is useful for space observation, there are certain difficulties in using this telescope. Let us see what all are the difficulties. So as we saw above, if we wish to obtain a bright image of the source by collecting the maximum possible light from it, the objective lens, how it should be? Very large. I told you objective lens should be large. Then only we'll get maximum light passing through it. However, what happens? It is very difficult to make very large lenses. Large lenses means what? It will be very heavy. It is made up of glass. So what happens? The glass will get distorted. It is difficult to handle also. So as the objective and eyepiece are placed at the opposite ends of the telescope, the length of the telescope also increase with increase in the size of the lens. And the telescopes becomes very difficult to manage. So think if the objective and eyepiece, if there is a increase in size of the lens, what will happen? The length of the telescope will also increase and it will be very difficult to handle. So that is the second difficulty observed. Okay. And the third difficulty is that the images formed by the lenses seems having errors of colors. So this is called a chromatic aberration. If there is errors of colors, That means what? We will not get proper color. So that's why it is showing error. What we can say it as errors of colors occurs. Okay. So these are the three difficulties faced during the space observation. Okay. So what we can do for this to overcome these difficulties, what we can do, we can make the telescope using concave mirrors. Yes, concave mirrors are better. So as light rays gets reflected by mirrors, so they are called reflecting telescopes. Okay, what are concave mirrors called as? Reflecting telescope. Now here no refraction takes, here directly reflection takes place. So in order to get a bright image of a source, large mirrors are necessary. Okay, large mirrors for what? So that they can collect maximum light, large amount of light from the source. So it is easier to make larger mirrors as compared to making large lens. Okay, instead of making lenses, what we can make? Big mirrors we can make. And that big mirrors can be made how? By combining several small pieces. So weight of a large mirror is less than that of a lens. Okay, if you compare a lens and a mirror of the same size, which will be much heavier, the weight of the lens will be heavier, whereas weight of the mirror will be less. So what we can use instead of lens? We can use mirror. Okay, concave mirrors. So the images formed by mirrors do not have errors of colors. Okay, we will not get any errors of colors. So using these large telescopes, we can see faraway stars, galaxies, etc. So here I will be showing you two types of telescope. Now here, this picture shows Newtonian telescope. So there are two types of reflecting telescopes, that is Newtonian and Cassegrain. Okay, first we are going to learn about Newtonian. Okay, the reflecting telescopes are mainly of two types. So what is this Newtonian? Now Newtonian telescope, as you can see in the PPT, light rays, how they're coming? They're coming from the space. What happens when they come from the space? They are reflected by the concave mirror. Now what we are using here? Concave mirror. Okay, so this is a concave mirror. Okay, okay, page number 211. Okay, concave mirror is shown there, right? So this concave mirror, before these reflected rays converge at the focus. Okay, what happens to these reflected rays? They get converged at the focus. They are then deflected again by a small plane mirror. You can see a small plane mirror over there. Okay, so this is a small plane mirror. Okay, over here. So this plane mirror, what it does, the rays which are reflected, they converge at the focus. Okay, so the light rays coming from space, they are reflected first by the concave mirror. Before these reflected rays converge at the focus, what they are done, they are deflected again by the plane mirror. So as a result, what happens? They get focused at a point. You can see it gets focused at one particular point lying on perpendicular to the axis of the telescope cylinder. Okay, so the light will meet, all the rays will meet at one particular point and they pass through the eyepiece and we get a magnified image of the source. So this is the eyepiece. Okay, so you can see here the eyepiece, right? So in the eyepiece, all the rays gets focused at a particular point which is perpendicular to the axis. So they pass through these eyepiece and what we are getting? Magnified image. Means what? A big image. Now, so now you can see clearly the space objects, right? So that is the use of Newtonian telescope. What is the second type of telescope I told? Cassegrain. Okay, Cassegrain telescope. Now here you can see the image of Cassegrain telescope, how it looks like. Now this construction of this telescope is how it is also using which mirror? Concave mirror. Okay, now we are using only the concave mirror. However, what happens here, the light rays after reflection from this concave mirror are reflected back towards it by a small convex mirror. Okay, so there is a small convex mirror. Okay, here You can see a convex mirror. So what this convex mirror will do? Convex mirror will again reflect it. Okay. Once the light rays after reflection from the concave mirror, they are again reflected back towards it by a small convex mirror. What then it happens to them? They will pass through a hole at the center. Okay, pass through a hole at the center. You can see a small hole at the center, right? So here you can see a small hole. Okay, so so when they will pass through this hole, what happens? They will pass through the hole at the center of the concave mirror, and then they will enter what? Eyepiece, because eyepiece is kept there, right? Through the eyepiece situated at the back of the mirror. So the eyepiece will give us what? Big image, magnified image of the source. So in this way, Cassegrain telescope is constructed. So to learn the construction of both Newtonian telescope and Cassegrain telescope. So these are the two types of telescopes, right? Reflecting telescope. We have studied first which one? Refracting telescope. That is optical telescope are of two types, refracting and reflecting, right? Refracting only one, but refracting having lot of what you can say difficulties. Okay, so that's why what we are now using, we are using concave mirrors. That's why it became reflecting telescope. In reflecting telescope, we have studied two types, that is Newtonian telescope and Cassegrain telescope. So these diagrams and their construction, I told you how it works, right? Now here you can see that in our country, we have several telescopes, right, with concave mirrors of 2 millimeter diameter that have been in use for many years. So the biggest optical telescope in India, having mirror of 3.6 meter diameter, is situated in the Aryabhatta Research Institute. Okay, where it is Aryabhatta Research Institute of Experimental Sciences, Nainital. Okay, so this is one of the largest optical telescope in Asia, right? So this is how it looks like. So it's very big, large, okay, and it is the first largest optical telescope in all over in Asia, right? So now next we are moving to radio telescope. What is radio telescope? Now here you can see some images of radio telescope. So yes, in many heavenly bodies, what they do, they emit radio waves in addition to visible radiation. Okay? But we cannot see them, these radiations. As I told you, we can see only visible radiation, right? So special type of telescope is used to receive these rays. That's why it is called as radio telescope. Now how it is made? It is made from one or more dishes of a particular parabolic shape. As in optical telescope, the incident radio waves are reflected by these dishes and converge at the focus. A radio receiver is placed at the focal point. Okay, so what is placed there? A receiver. What we call it as radio receiver. Why? Because optical telescope, the incident radio waves are reflected by the dishes and they converge at the focus. Okay, so what we need, a receiver, radio receiver is placed. So the information what is gathered by this receiver, that is passed to the computer, which analyzes it and constructs an image of the source. So through the computer you can look at that image, okay, image of heavenly body, right? Okay, so here in my PPT, you can see that how it is connected to a computer, right? So computer is shown, how the radio telescope, the radio waves pass, receiver is shown, dish is shown here, amplifier and a computer. So this is a large radio telescope called Giant Meter Wave Radio Telescope, GMRT. What is the full form of GMRT? Giant Radio Telescope. Okay, that is where it is found It is in Narayan and where it is situated, Narayan where it is in Pune. Okay, so this giant meter wave radio telescope is in Pune, and it uses radio waves having wavelengths of about 1 meter. Okay, these radiations are coming from heavenly bodies. So that is about this radio telescope. Okay, now there are many other telescopes also here to learn. So this you can see. So a Hubble telescope. Okay, this is an image of an Hubble telescope, and in the year 1990, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, they are launched into space an optical telescope called Hubble telescope. So what it has a mirror of diameter 94 inches and is orbiting the Earth at a height of 589 kilometer from it. So this telescope is still working, okay, and it has helped to make important discoveries. Okay, so here let us see how this telescopes works. Okay, so visible light and radio waves emitted by heavenly bodies in space can pass through the Earth's atmosphere, right? Okay. Now here what happens, the visible light and radio waves emitted will, whatever light is emitted, right, that will pass through the space and they can pass through the Earth's atmosphere also. Okay. And when they will pass through the Earth's atmosphere and reach Earth's surface, so all the optical and radio telescopes, they can be erected on the surface of the Earth. So these Earth-based telescopes present some problems in making good quality observation. There are some problem, right, to observe. Okay? So the visible light, whatever coming from these heavenly bodies, no, they will pass through the Earth's atmosphere and reach the Earth's surface. Okay. So during this journey, what happens? Some light is absorbed by whom? By the atmosphere. And the intensity of light reaching the Earth's surface decreases. So the light which reaches the Earth, what happens? Some light, if it gets absorbed, what happens to the remaining light? The intensity of remaining light will get decreased. Okay. So when the intensity decreases, these changes, what it will cause? It will cause turbulence in the atmosphere, which in turn cause of the light rays to change their path slightly. Okay. So what is meant by turbulence? Disturbance. Yes. Turbulence means what? Disturbance in the atmosphere. So what happens to these rays? They will keep on changing their path. Okay, slightly they will keep on changing their path and thereby shake the position of the image. Okay, so the image, whatever we are seeing through the computer, no, that will be in little bit shaking, right? So because of sunlight, we cannot use optical telescopes during daytime. Okay, we have to use this telescope during night. And at night, what happens in city? We are using artificial lights. Okay, the weather will be cloudy. So all these difficulties we have to face. So it is very difficult to observe the stars and moon sky using this. Okay, heavenly bodies, it's very difficult to observe them at night. So to reduce these problems, optical telescopes are situated where we should keep it on the top of the mountains at an uninhabited place. Uninhabited place, who knows the meaning of this? What is meant by uninhabited? Anyone, can you give the answer using public chat? Very good, Bhumi Tiwari, you are correct. Where nobody is living, okay, like remote places. Okay, and inhabitation means what? Where publicly residential places. Uninhabited means what? Where the place where nobody is living, only this forest area, like that way. Okay, or a remote area, desert areas. Okay, there we can use this optical telescope because there will be complete darkness, no artificial use of lights there. in mountains, on the top of mountains also nobody goes. So however, what happens if we want to get rid of all these problems, we should place a telescope above the Earth's atmosphere. Okay, above the Earth's atmosphere means where we will have to keep in space. Where we will keep it in space. So these problems do not exist in the space, and thus the image obtained by space telescope would be bright and very clear. So if you are going to keep this telescope in space, what is the benefit? The image will be much clear. It will be bright. You can easily see the proper image, okay, structure of that particular heavenly body. Okay, and it will be very clear and you can easily study. So what scientists did, they have turned this idea into reality. That's why this Hubble telescope came in the year 1990, okay, which I shown you previously. Hubble telescope. So this telescope is one such telescope and it helps to make important discoveries. Okay, now let us see the diagram of another one more telescope, that is, let me share my screen, students. Okay, now you can see here in the year 1999. Okay, so National Aeronautics and Space Administration launched an X-ray telescope. What is the name of this X-ray telescope? Chandra. Okay, what is the name of this telescope? Chandra in space. To study what? X-rays coming from the heavenly objects. So special mirrors which can reflect X-rays were used in this telescope. Now, what is why this Chandra is useful? Chandra has given us very useful information about the stars and galaxies. So, and we know many information nowadays because of this telescope. Okay, this is an X-ray telescope. Now, telescope is named after the famous Indian scientist Subramanian Chandrasekhar. That's why the name came as Chandra. Okay. Now let us see the next part of the chapter, that is ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, which is situated at Bengaluru. Okay. Now talking about this institute, what you can say, this institute was established in the year 1969 with the aim of developing technology for making and launching of artificial satellites. So that's the reason this ISRO was built. Yes, the main objective of making this organization is, what is the aim? Okay, to develop technology for launching artificial satellites. Okay, so till date, ISRO has successfully launched a number of satellites. There are many satellites. Okay, so ISRO's program is foremost among the successful programs undertaken by independent India. So India's progress in space science has played a big role in national and social development. You might have heard about INSAT and GSAT. So these two are the series of satellites support our telecommunication network. Okay, television broadcasting, meteorological services. So all these things is done by these series of satellites. Okay, so it is because of them we can, what we can do, we can we can use this telephone, television, we can use internet service. Okay, nowadays you all are attending online lectures, right? So without internet service it is not possible, right? Without the network it is not possible. So nowadays everywhere in our country this is being used. EduSat. There is another satellite called EduSat. Okay, for that is for education. Okay, what is the use of EduSat? It will help in education. Okay, so it is exclusively used only for education. Then there is another satellite called IRS satellite. Okay, it is used for what? Monitoring and management of natural resources. Okay, as well as disaster management. If any disasters occurs during that time, we can use it. Next is AstroSat. What is AstroSat? Okay, now next. Okay, now here you can see the image of this AstroSat. Okay, it is also an artificial satellite. So in which year it was launched? In the year 2015 by ISRO, that is Indian Space Research Organization. They launched an artificial satellite called AstroSat in space. Now, what is this satellite doing? It has UV rays, ultraviolet rays, and X-ray telescopes and detectors. Okay, so most of the parts used in this satellite, they are made in our own country. Okay, now in India. So it is a unique system having different kinds of telescopes on a single satellite. Okay, so many different types of kinds of telescope is there on a single satellite. So Indian scientists, they are studying various aspects of the universe using the data obtained with these telescopes. So we can study many, we can get many information using this AstroSat. Okay, so that is about this artificial satellite. Okay, so uh, so today what all things we studied, students? First we went with the why we need the sky watching. Okay, sky watching and equipment, need of sky watching and equipment. Then we studied the different forms of light. Okay, then we studied about the wavelength of light radiation, need and structure of telescope, which are the different types of telescopes, types of optical telescope, radio telescope, what is the scope and limitation of telescope on Earth. Then we studied telescopes in space, why we should launch telescope in space. Okay. Then what is the contribution of Indian Space Research Organization? And then we studied the artificial satellite, that is AstroSat. Okay, so that is the end of this chapter, students.